and welcome. My name is Lauren Gill, and I will be your host for this episode of The W. Gaps is a short film about Jessie Richards, a landscape artist whose work goes well beyond digging, planting, and weeding to meet the needs of her company and customers. Joining me today is Katherine Leary Alsdorf. She is the founding director for the Center for Faith and Work at Redeemer Presbyterian Church. She is also the author of the book Every Good Endeavor with Tim Keller, and now consults churches around the world to help them equip people for faithful work. Katherine, thank you for joining us today.
It is my pleasure. This is going to be fun, Lauren.
Jessie had such a joy about the work she was doing and talked about how 95% of the work that she did was really unseen. It was cultivating the ground. And what did you think about just her expressiveness about her work and her passion for it?
Honestly, as a boss for quite a few years, I thought, I want to hire that girl. She could work anywhere and bring joy into that environment. And she talked about looking at her work as a way to fill gaps. Mm-hmm. But she was looking beyond her job description, which was landscaping, and saying, where else is there a gap in how things are working well? What can I do to fill that gap?
Mm-hmm. The idea that so much of integrating your faith and work is about loving your neighbor well and recognizing who your neighbor is as being your boss and your coworker or your customer, your client. And she seems to naturally have that.
And it drove so much of what she did, interestingly. So I think she was so committed to seeing her work as a way to serve people that it prompted all this innovation.
I thought it was so great to see she had come from a missionary background, because I know you have often heard the story, I feel like to really serve God, I have to go be a pastor or a missionary or a youth minister and work in the church. That's the way to use my gifts and abilities to serve the Lord. And that's something that you have spent your career writing a book about and starting an organization to say, no, that's not true. Can you talk a little bit about that misconception?
I would love to see the church encourage and equip and enable people like Jessie to really see their work out there as part of the mission of Jesus' church.
People want to fix the big revolutionary problems in their work, but often the small areas of brokenness, again, it's not as glamorous to fix the accounting problem or organize the receipts. And I think it's so lovely that she had the humility to tackle that problem in a way that would have honored God really well and also brought some balance to the construction company. Very tangible.
I think it's just been part of our culture lately that we're going to change the world. We have these grandiose schemes of how God might use us to do this big change. And I think her story shows us very poignantly that change starts right here.
Hopefully she has a sense that she and the educator and the person in healthcare and the person in finance, all of these people in her community are all working for the glory of God together. Yeah. And that all of those small parts fit together in a really lovely way.
She wants to give 100% of herself to this work. Her imagination, her experience, her wisdom, her love of people and relational skills. She just wanted to give everything that God gave her into her work. And I think that's when you start to get the meaning out of it. And sometimes that's sacrificial. She's not getting a lot of glory for that. Right. But it was an act of love, a sacrificial act of love to take on more. There's a sort of a mysterious connection between sacrifice and meaning that I think is important to ponder.
Katherine, thank you so much for joining us on The W today. It was a pleasure talking with you.
And a pleasure to do this with you. Thanks, Lauren.
And thank you to our audience for joining us on this episode of The W.